Nearly one-third of global shipping passes through a single stretch of ocean. Oil from the Middle East, electronics leaving Asia, raw materials feeding factories across the world. All of it moving through the same sea. And right now, China is expanding its pressure there. The question is simple, but the answer is complicated. What exactly is China trying to achieve in the South China Sea? At first glance, the South China Sea looks like open water, but scattered across the region are hundreds of reefs, shoals, and teeny island chains. Several countries claim parts of them: China, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Taiwan. Some of these disputes go back decades. But during the past 15 years, something's changed. China's begun building islands where none existed before. Many of these locations were once only visible at low tide. Small coral formations barely rising above the water. But those reefs became the foundation for something much larger, because China started transforming them, turning these reefs into solid land. So the question then becomes, should building artificial islands change who controls the territory? To build these islands, China's dredged sand from the seabed. That sand was piled onto coral reefs and shallow rock formations. Over time, those reefs became permanent land, and that land became military outposts, runways, radar stations, missile systems, entire bases rising from what used to be underwater reefs. But some estimates, China has created more than 3,000 acres of new land in disputed waters. And those islands are not just symbolic. They allow China to expand military reach hundreds of miles from the mainland coast. That changes the strategic balance but military power is not only part of the story. The South China Sea is one of the most important shipping corridors on Earth. Roughly $3 to $4 trillion, $3 to $4 trillion of global trade pass through these waters every year. Energy shipments, container ships, industrial supply chains, goods moving between Asia, Europe, and the Americas. If any country could significantly influence that traffic, it would gain enormous economic leverage. Control of these regions could affect global manufacturing, energy prices, shipping costs, even the availability of everyday consumer products, which is why countries are watching developments here very closely. Now, should global trade routes ever fall under the influence of just one country? China's territorial claims is often called the nine-dash line. It covers nearly 90% of the South China Sea, but that claim is widely disputed. In 2016, an international tribunal ruled that China's claim had no legal basis under international law. China obviously rejected that ruling, and construction in the region continued. Instead of district military confrontation, China often uses what analysts call gray zone strategies. Coast Guard ships, fishing fleets, maritime militia vessels. These ships patrol disputed reefs and escort survey missions. They apply pressure without triggering open conflict. Now the question for my viewers, is this careful diplomacy, or is this the slow traditional expansion? Countries in the region are responding. The Philippines has strengthened defenses, ties with the United States. Vietnam is mobilizing its navy. Several Southeast Asian nations are increasing patrols around disputed reefs. Meanwhile, The United States continues freedom of navigation operates throughout the area. For China, the South China Sea represents security buffers and strategic influence. For neighboring countries, it represents sovereignty and natural resources. And for the rest of the world, it represents whether one of the most important waterways on Earth remains open. Because this isn't just about reefs in the ocean. It's about trade, power, and the future